Ava never expected her day to begin with a secret. At 7:43 a.m., she walked the same cracked tile hallway at West Hollow High like every morning, brushing past sleepy classmates and the scent of cheap cologne. But today, something felt off. When she reached her locker, number 1087, there was already a faint tug in her chest, like a silent alarm going off inside her nerves. She spun the dial, opened the door, and there it was. A small white USB drive, perfectly centered on her history book. Taped to it, a folded yellow sticky note with 2 words in block letters: "Play me." She looked around. No one was watching, or so she thought. Ava felt her throat tighten. Who put it there, and why? She took it, pocketed it, and pretended everything was fine. But everything was not fine. In her last class, she couldn't focus. Her heart raced. The note played in her mind like a song on repeat. Play me, play me. By the time she got home, she didn't even take off her shoes. She went straight to her desk, opened her laptop, and plugged it in. The drive whirred to life. Inside were 5 video files, no labels, just timestamps. She clicked the first. Her heart stopped. It was her, walking to school yesterday, but filmed from across the street through a parked car's windshield. She had never noticed anyone there. The second video showed her in the cafeteria, laughing with friends. The third was the one that made her skin crawl. She was in her room, asleep. The shot was from above, like a hidden camera tucked near the ceiling fan. She screamed, pulled away from the desk, looked around the room in horror. No one could have been in her room. No one could have filmed that. And yet, there it was, her, lying in bed, tossing, turning, whispering something in her sleep. She clicked pause, zoomed in. Her mouth was moving. She whispered, "He's watching." Ava had never remembered saying that. Her hands trembled. She clicked on the final file. It didn't play, just a black screen and the sound of someone breathing. And then a voice, low, distorted, said, "You're not supposed to know yet." The screen cut to static. Her laptop crashed. Silence. Then her phone buzzed. Unknown number. One message. "You weren't supposed to open it. Now we have to start early." Ava Parker's mornings were predictable to the second. At exactly 7:26 a.m., her alarm rang with the familiar melody she never bothered to change. She would groan, stretch, and press snooze once, never more. By 7:32, she was already brushing her teeth with one hand while checking messages with the other. And by 7:45, she was halfway through her toast, staring out the kitchen window at the same cracked sidewalk she'd walked for the last 4 years. West Hollow High sat 3 blocks from her apartment building. It wasn't remarkable in any way: red brick, gray lockers, and a smell that hovered somewhere between bleach and overripe bananas. Ava, a quiet 17-year-old with a sharp eye for detail, often noticed the little things others missed. But today, it wasn't a little thing that caught her attention. It was 8:01 a.m. when she arrived at her locker, number 1087, top row, slightly dented on the bottom right corner from where someone kicked it 2 years ago. She spun the dial, left to 21, right past 10 to 5, then back to 30, and opened it. Her breath caught. There, perfectly centered on her history textbook, was a white USB stick. Sleek, clean, no scratches. Sitting on top of it, a yellow sticky note with 2 words scribbled in black ink. "Play me." Her first thought was, is this a prank? But no one at West Hollow cared enough to prank her. Ava wasn't unpopular, just invisible. She kept her head down, grades high, and life quiet. She glanced around. The hallway buzzed like always, friends catching up, lockers slamming, teachers with travel mugs. No one was looking at her. And yet, she felt eyes somewhere. Carefully, she picked up the USB. It was cold, unusually so, like it had been kept in a fridge. She turned it over. No label, no initials, just plain white plastic. She slipped it into her backpack, shoved her books over the now empty space, and closed the locker. The sticky note she crumpled and shoved into her jacket pocket, fingers brushing the ink as if it might burn her skin. Ava didn't open it at school. Something told her not to, a deep, unspoken instinct, like a whisper behind her ear. Wait, not here. And so she waited. But she couldn't focus, not in first period chemistry, not in second period lit. She didn't take notes. She didn't doodle in her margins like usual. She just stared at her bag, at the door, at people. Every laugh behind her back made her flinch. Every whisper twisted her gut. At lunch, she sat with Mia and Jess, who didn't notice Ava hadn't touched her food. They chatted about some fight that broke out in the senior hallway, but Ava's ears were tuned for a different frequency. She scanned the cafeteria. Someone was watching her. She was sure of it. At one point, her eyes locked with a boy sitting 2 tables over, Liam Harper, tall, always in headphones, known for skipping gym. He held her gaze for 3 seconds longer than normal, long enough to make her uncomfortable. Then he looked away. Coincidence? Maybe. But her hand brushed the USB in her pocket again, and the chill returned. The rest of the day passed like a film out of sync. She floated from class to class, not really hearing, not really seeing. When the bell rang at 3:02, she was the first one out. By 3:26, she was home. By 3:30, her laptop was open. And by 3:31, her life changed. The USB made a small click when it slid into the port. Her laptop recognized it immediately, naming the drive simply untitled. Ava hesitated. Her fingers hovered above the trackpad, unsure. She glanced over her shoulder, even though she was alone. Her room was dim, shades drawn, the only light coming from her screen. The silence around her was so complete, it had a presence of its own. She double-clicked. 5 files appeared. No folder, no description, just 5 video files titled only by timestamp. 2024-11-13-0802. 2024-11-14-12-24. 2024-11-14-22-03. 2024-11-15-01-18. 2024-11-16-000. She blinked. Her birthday was November 13th. The first file was from her birthday morning, 8:02 a.m., right around the time she arrived at school. Heart pounding, she clicked the first one. It was grainy, shaky. Someone had filmed from inside a car across the street from West Hollow High. There she was, Ava, walking toward the school entrance with her bag slung over one shoulder. She paused to help a girl who dropped a folder, smiled, and kept walking. Ava watched herself from the outside, something she had never done before. It was surreal. The camera lingered, zoomed in just enough to catch the flick of her ponytail, the pale pink of her sweater, the green charm dangling from her backpack zipper. The clip ended abruptly. She swallowed hard. Whoever filmed that was close, watching. Her hand shook slightly as she moved to the second file. The timestamp read 12:24 p.m., the same day. She hesitated only a moment, then pressed play. This one was inside the school cafeteria. The angle was high, possibly from the second-floor balcony that overlooked the common area. She saw herself again laughing at a joke Mia had told. She didn't remember the joke. She didn't remember laughing like that. It was like watching a stranger wearing her face. Behind her, students came and went, and in the bottom corner of the video, someone she hadn't noticed before, stood a figure wearing a gray hoodie and black jeans, back turned to the camera, perfectly still. The figure remained in place for the whole 2-minute video. She replayed it, zoomed in, the image blurred, still there, motionless. Her breath caught. She moved to open the third video, then stopped. A chill crept up her spine, raising goosebumps along her arms. The timestamp on the third video was 10:03 p.m. that night. That was when she went to bed. She didn't want to press play, but her finger hovered. Because deep down, she had to know what it showed, even if it broke her. She clicked. The third video took longer to load. The screen was black at first, then slowly faded into a dim bluish view of a bedroom. Her bedroom. Her lamp was off. The only light came from the street lamp outside the window, casting long, skeletal shadows across the floor. Her body was visible on the bed, curled up, asleep, her chest rising and falling. The angle was high, very high, almost like it came from the top of her bookshelf. Ava's head tilted as she stared at the image. She didn't remember setting up a camera. She didn't even own one. She turned to look at the actual shelf behind her. Nothing. Back to the screen. At first, nothing happened, just her sleeping. Then, at 00:45, the doorknob moved. Her real hand flew to her mouth as she gasped. The knob twisted slightly, not enough to open, just a twitch, like someone had tried and stopped. She paused the video. Her heart was hammering. She skipped forward. At 01:12, the closet door creaked, just an inch, but enough to notice. She rewound and turned the volume up, listened. There it was. Breathing. Heavy. From behind the camera. From the spot where the viewer was meant to be. She backed away from her laptop, knocking over a water bottle in the process. It hit the ground with a thud, but she barely noticed. Her eyes were locked on the figure that had just stepped into view. A silhouette. No face. No details. Just a presence. They moved closer to the bed. She reached forward, trembling, and paused the video. The screen froze on a single frame. Ava asleep, and someone standing over her, inches from her pillow. The figure's head was tilted, like it was listening. Her heart thudded in her ears. She stepped back from the desk, bumping into her chair. She wanted to scream, to cry, to disappear, and then her phone buzzed. Once. A text. Unknown number. It read, "You weren't supposed to open that one yet."